What up, guys? This is day 4 in series Road to Payout. On today's video, we do have a trade recap and backtesting session. For those who are new into this series, it's me documenting every single day, every growth, every struggle, overall my progress as a young trader. I'm 16-year-old trader from Europe who's been learning trading for about 3 months. I'm going to live trade, do trade recaps, do backtesting sessions of my strategy, psychology lessons, talk about growth, my struggles as a young trader, all these little things you have to implement in your life in order to become a good trader, and about discipline, about faith in God, about all these little things that are necessary. And yeah, let's get into it. Also, sorry guys that I didn't post this video earlier. Literally, not much of an excuse. I was just way too tired. I have pretty big sleep deficit, and I just fall asleep in the midday, and yeah, slept many hours. That's well, probably now look like I just woke up because that is true. So let's get into this video. So coming in today, we did have a bullish bias, and I'm not quite sure why didn't I follow my bias? This was literally a pretty stupid trade. So let's get it into it. So how we see, um, why is it already showing that far? Well, yeah, we did have a big new day opening gap. If you see that, and let's go 1 minute because it's all right. What the fuck, man? All right, so we had this big new day opening that gap, and what I was thinking is I want to see some manipulation like downwards, maybe into some gap, and then we can take a inversion to the upside as in continuation longs. So we had the opening just to the upside, and then we started chopping a little bit. Didn't have any good gaps to be invest, and then we formed this gap. I was like, okay, perfect. We can take inversion from this gap. We now push higher, but what we did, we just started chopping. We couldn't take out this gap. We wasn't, I guess, the needed volatility, bro. I just don't know how to say that word, but yeah, we didn't have the needed volatile market to take out this gap, I guess, at that moment. And then we pushed lower. I'm looking like, wait, this looks like maybe an inversion. I see this 15-minute, no, this 5-minute gap being inversed. And at that time, I was looking like, okay, where could price react off if we do decide to take a short? Yes, we do have this 15-minute. But I know I was, I guess, a not cautious enough. I was, because I got in the market a little bit late and I didn't see this gap not being disrespected. This gap was still respected, and I didn't saw that. I didn't see that, and if I would have seen that, I would definitely not be taking this short because there's high possibility price can react off this gap, and so I decided to take shorts to this resting liquidity inside this 5-minute gap, and also it's the start of this 15-minute gap. I know I shouldn't have taken these shorts because also we inversed this 15-minute gap in here, and we had just like little retrace downwards, and then now it's probably going to go higher. I just didn't saw these little details the market, but because I came into market rushing, because I almost no, I almost missed the entry. Something was bugging with the OBS studio. I couldn't film the live trade, so it was just all these little things, all this stress, and I think it was this trade I took purely just on like very. It wasn't me. It was just very impulsive trade, and yeah. So let's say we all wanted to enter at here when the price came up. I was trying to enter, but somehow the market didn't want it to let me in, and then we got a little bit of pushback. Well, not a little, pretty strong push to the upside. This could have like, this could have given me a sign that it's not strongly disrespecting this gap. But so I took a entry at this point, and then so I took an entry at this point, and I was targeting this resting liquidity inside this 5 minute gap. So the next candle was pretty strong. We did have a pretty strong push to the downside, and now see the disaster. Pow! And I got stopped out with one candle. And one thing I want to say, I'm not trying to like defend my laws, but Trump, oh no, Iran did tweet at this time in Twitter about some, I think they were pretty positive news about the war with USA, and that's why everyone was also reacting to this tweet. Like that's why I got stopped out in one candle because it was so sudden. How y'all probably saw, this move was crazy. So, and also what I wanted to do is talk about trade. Taken. I would have definitely been taken if I didn't take this failure shot, because I did mark out this trade while it was running, and I just didn't like trading, you know, twice because that would be against my rules. So we formed this beautiful bearish gap trying to take out this bullish gap, and we failed, and market with the next candle beautifully pushes higher. Then I waited for little like retrace to the lower. We get it. You could have gotten a crazy RR and entered here, but at that time I was like, kind of like, trading, but not trading because I didn't enter it. I was just seeing would have this trade been valid. So I entered about here, and then we did have a nice reaction to the upside. And also about this new day opening gap, we pushed a little lower into this gap, and then we hit it pretty nicely. So yeah, this is about today. Just overall, a pretty dumb trade. Also, what I realized after I didn't have like what I always like having for my trade, and I always have is like bigger narrative behind that trade. All I did today was just having a simple inversion, and that that is not enough. That is definitely not enough. This was a very stupid trade, and yeah. So overall, just a lot of to learn from, a lot of to journal after, and it was just not a high probability trade because we're trading against a gap. Yes, we did have some liquidity down here, but that is not a reason to take a trade like this. And yeah, because I usually like aligning my investors with high time frame fair value gaps. Like, we get a bounce of a 4 hour or 1 hour gap, and then we have like, price would have pushed higher, and here was like a 5 minute gap here, and then price push higher and delivers lower, and then I can say, okay, nice, we do have a reaction of some higher time frame for our gap. Now all we did was a 1 minute reaction off, so that is definitely not enough, and this was a shitty trade. So now I'm going to stop the recording and restart it with the back testing. So I'm gonna see y'all there. Peace.